the team that are better than DRX until proven otherwise. DRX, though, passing the center test with flying colors, as we can see.
Rakan ban is interesting here. We're not super high on Xayah Rakan right now, but
aiming is.
Yeah, he certainly is. He has been reliant on it, you could say.
Yeah.
I think that's good preparation here for DRX. Instead of trying to beat it, just don't let them play it, see what D+ will do. Milio ban here I do like. The Senna is obviously gone, so picks like the Cassante, the Orianna are soaring right now. Varus, which is also still available here, is a pick that Aiming could slam down in B1 if that is left available. Tough call, Maokai also available for Lucid to play. Potentially played a ton of Maokai on Challengers. Very, very well versed on the champion.
I wonder how Kellen is at it as well.
Yeah, could be something that comes through. Kalista will be what they go for, as Kellen is a very good Renata player, so allowing the Kalista Renata to be a big problem. I think we're going to see Varus and not Yasuo, but it is cool to see the hover.
Not be it.
That's not it. That's not Varus right there. I'm pretty sure. That's Varus on the other side. That's the one. That's the one Taze playing Varus on the other side.
Your identification of Varus is incredible, Wolf. But yeah, you're right.
And that's Lucian without Emilio right there that D+ picked first. I'm not a big fan of that one.
They're gonna pick a fish and they're gonna hope for the best, I think is what's going to happen. Or a squid, based on that Nami skin that makes her a squid.
I'm liking, right now, in terms of picks we have here, we have Lucian on one side, we have Varus and Cassante on the other side, Atlas.
Yeah, the tier list is really pointing to DRX at this point in time.
Now the rel is good.
Make it like that.
The rel is good here. I like that. That one's good.
Yep. That's
comfortable for Lucid. It's going to be a nice front line to absorb some of that damage and give you some potential re-engages. I like that part of this draft. The other part, we'll see how they shape it out. Is now you can go for so many different things here. As DRX, you could prioritize a mid laner if you want to, and then ban away Showmaker a little bit. You can also just grab a strong pushing support here for the Varus.
You could just pick Karma if you wanted to, but instead they're going to go for the Poppy. I like the Karma just because it is a flex pick, right? So you can put it in mid lane if you'd like to, or you can flex it to bot and have a lot of pushing power down there on the bottom side of the map. But Sponge is a great Poppy player, has been playing it for a very long time. He will lock that one in, and that will be able to deny the Lucian quite a lot. Stops a lot of the rel engages with the crash down as well quite nicely. So I do not mind the pickup at all.
When you have a Cassante to tank, a Poppy to zone with her ultimate, and obviously just zone in general with her steadfast presence, and a Varus for poke, you have so much objective control in this densely packed, high-tier champion list that DRX have put together. So do like it a lot. Also now can protect the Cassante a little bit here with the Gwen ban. Take that away from Kingen.
Yep.
And I like the Nautilus ban. Can be quite strong into Lucian Nami. Twisted Fate.
So what were the chances, Wolf? Do you think that Kingen was going to play Gwen? Even if it wasn't banned?
I mean, I'd say like maybe 40%. I'd say there's a pretty decent chance he'd play it. Now, would he win against Cassante? Those numbers are a little bit lower, but
this is what I'm thinking. I just feel like there is no way that Kingen isn't just playing Aatrox.
I mean, since they didn't ban Aatrox, I guess he will. But I was gonna say he could also just end up on Udyr duty in this case, which would be a real tragedy. But I think it will be the Aatrox you mentioned, whereas Caitlyn Varus is going to be the lane. And
that's aggressive. That's some T1 vibes that we got going on here. We'll see whether Teddy and Pleta can actually play this one out. And who's going to be playing what? And that's a big question.
You get to have now, as Satab counterpick for Showmaker, and you have a winning lane bottom. You have Cassante, so you're never really losing topside. You're never really under any threat into Kingen. As Rascal here, the Aatrox, this comp is screaming, my mid game is insane. And if Showmaker locks LeBlanc here, you'll feel good about it if you're a Showmaker fan. In terms of the power he has in mid-game and his comfort on the pick.
But his smile, man, that's what's freaking me out. Oh no, he's gonna giggle and smile and then play Karma. Oh God.
Well,
I mean,
the hasn't won in solo lanes yet.
It really hasn't. It hasn't won anywhere. Has
it? Well, it hasn't been played bottom, so
yeah, that's true. It just hasn't done winning. I don't know whether I'm a Talia fan into the Karma. She just kind of walks around quickly as opposed to doing anything else, but you can wall things off, and when you do have double AD carry like this, the amount of setup and zone control with Poppy, all of the Caitlyn traps, the Weaver's wall, and then Cassante being a brick wall in the front line,
I imagine it
makes a lot of sense.
Caitlyn support, yeah, that's going to be the case. And, I mean, it could have been Vara support, but that would have been, I think, definitely the weaker variant. You have a lot of utilities as the Caitlyn with the traps and stuff like that, but what the Karma solves for in this draft is it guarantees it was one of the... Oh?
Wait, maybe it still is Caitlyn support, and Pleta is just like...
I mean, Pleta is like Reckless
I'm not as
carry,
yeah, like that's the thing, and he was a great one as well. And maybe Teddy just has more experience playing Caitlyn, so he's like, I'll just play this if you're very comfortable in the Varus. If you put in a lot of hours on it. It makes sense. We still don't necessarily know who's going to pick the support item, right?
Yeah, let's see who's farming. I think it's a really good point that we don't really know. I expect that Caitlyn will be farming. Or sorry, the Caitlyn will be supporting.
I mean, they're both going to be playing like a lethality version of the champion anyway, right? That's what Caitlyn does in these like very heavy pushing lanes, try and get as much early game power as possible.
But the Karma here doesn't solve any of the problems of what you're going to have in late game team fights if you are not steamrolling the game, but it will give you prio early. So you've got to use that to get early advantages if you're D+. Otherwise, you get rolled over.
And it doubles down on their win condition, right? It's we are going to smash mid game and you will have nothing to do. See whether they can achieve it. We hop into the Rift here for game 1. And Wolf, I'm a little bit,
double Doran's blade, so we just don't know yet.
Oh no! And they're really making us sweat for this one to try and figure out who's actually going to be farming. Maybe we'll just, maybe it's just going to be Teddy, because I don't know, he doesn't have Halo Blades, so that makes me feel like he's just going to be going Crit Caitlyn. And you do definitely need items if you're playing Crit Caitlyn, but also if you're playing Crit Caitlyn, your mid game is a void.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Satab is going to face check, and he's really dead. And I was about to say, the one part of this composition for me that really doesn't click is the Talia. And now she's not even on the Rift anymore.
So what's interesting is they could have done a lot of different other things. Like they could have gone for an Azir pick, which would have been some additional peel. They could have gone for like LeBlanc themselves, try to get backline access. They ended up going for the Talia, which I think the one good thing about Talia is it is going to be able to say no to team fights where the mid game is so strong. Here on the side of D+, where you just put up a Weaver's Wall on a Dragon fight and say, nah, I'm going to try to pick somebody, or you need to leave because we have great range and we will be able to just avoid the Lucian, avoid the Aatrox. And that's going to be a little bit tougher now that he did die at First Blood. It's Karma, so she's not going to be putting kill pressure on, but it is going to be pushing the wave a little bit more comfortably after that first back, with 400 gold in her pocket. Down here, this should not be fun for Aiming and Kellen to play in any way, shape, or form.
There's a lot of outranging that's happening there on the bottom side of the map. As Showmaker is going to take Satab for a walk, and Satab is not going to have a very good time at the park.
This is the part of this game in terms of individual players and lane matchups where there's a giga gap. Unfortunately, Showmaker, despite being on a 2-5 team, is still, I'd say, top 5 mid laners right now.
And also looking better than he was all year last year.
Yeah.
And D+ weren't as bad as they are now.
And Satab has had a lot of early game accidents so far this season, including the one that happened this time around where he just kind of had no vision and walked into 5 people. Didn't have vision anywhere on the Rift, and so it's tough to blame him entirely for this, but he is the victim, as we are going to have an early gank here from Lucid.
Yeah, speaking of vision, there was absolutely none. Where Lucid walked is now bled up. He's in this brush, and Teddy, he's the one that's going to lure them away, wanting to make sure that it's not a double kill. The crashdown comes in, and Teddy will be taken out. Aiming collects that one, and that is 2 very early kills here for D+.
Yeah, so this is kind of disastrous, you know. I mean, the pathing was good there from Lucid. He avoided both of those wards, came and wrapped around most of the common ward positions there. He's able to avoid. Obviously knows there's one on the blue buff there, and then avoids the pixel brush here, just skirts around. And they didn't know, and this is what happens. You either have to have vision, which they thought they did, or you have to have a cover if you're going to push really hard with a lane like this. And they had vision, but it was skirted, no cover, and that's a kill going over. So Lucian now has a serrated Dirk in his possession.
Oh, wow. So that is that's a big tempo buy. Let's just say that. for aiming. If he builds another Ghost Blade, though, I'm going to be quite bothered. Quite bothered. I think it's likely that he doesn't, as there are other options, and you can just not build it into anything, you know? Just,
I mean, in this comp...
Collector would be fine. You know, that'd be fine.
In this comp, I don't hate the Ghost Blade as much as I do in a lot of other ones, because, yeah, you're never going to kill Cassante later if you go that way, but you need to win the game before Cassante is tanky anyways. I'm being a bit facetious here, obviously, but we'll see what he does build, but it is going to be very strong, obviously, in the early part of this.
The main reason why I don't like it, Wolf, is that, like, Orcs is there, and we know, like, how upset he's going to be if it happens again.
I mean, I'll be upset too.
Yeah. And
Even though I just said otherwise, I'm like, nah.
Chronicler will as well, for 2 reasons. You know, he has to be there with Orcs, like, so upset, and he's also feeling hurt by the purchase. Oh, not so good. Anyway, Carrier did win with support Paris into the Nami last time around.
Yeah, and Telecom War against Lehens, and that was when T1 was winning everything and never losing. And
yeah, was that spring?
Yeah, he was playing every marksman. It was about almost exactly a year ago, just a week off.
Yep. Maybe it's like, maybe this is the month of support Varus. We're allowed to have that as...
Rascal?
Rascal is walking up to try and kill a minion, and he is going to be able to do so. Won't be pulled into the Chains of Corruption circle, though, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, if he was almost any other champion there, he would probably have to use a summoner to escape, but because he's Cassante, he'll be okay. And now we'll just have to teleport back to lane.
All my brain can think about is the likelihood of a Ghost Blade.
Well, he could just be doing the Tempo Dirk into Stormrazor.
Oh, I love it.
We have seen that before.
Yeah, big fan.
And then you go Collector second. You know, that's the thing that we have seen find success. You're playing into Talia, maybe you blow her up, you catch Teddy later. Possibility. Right now, it's not feeling like that's necessarily 100% what we're going to see, but Showmaker having this lead, having constant prio means that you can't use as...
Ripple boop, you love to see it.
That is the rail moment right there. I was just going to say, like, besides the fact that, you know, this is supposed to win super hard and it's not, the fact that Karma has this extra lead means the prio is a little bit warped here for DRX. Does not feel really good for the amount of control they wanted to have to neutralize the Lucian. As you can see, they're about 1,300 gold behind here already with these 2 kills.
Yeah. And already you can see that, I mean, Teddy and Pleta are kind of doing their job, right? Like, they do have a CS advantage, but it should be larger than this, right? With the investment that they made. Because the longevity of having this Varus that doesn't have very many items is just not going to be as high. You miss out on a lot of late-game utility if you don't have someone that is either an engaged source, like a Nautilus, or an enchanter that can, you know, buff up the AD carry.
Not to mention, too, Atlas, that, like, he didn't buy a support item because they went double Doran's Blade to put even additional pressure on, and so now his gold generation is severely limited, so he's going to be doing very little damage ever, basically. And once he buys the support item, it's going to take him a really long time to complete it and then even get vision, for example. So he's going to go back and buy it now, you have to assume, but it is a long way from relevance. Now he's picked it up here at 7 minutes in, whereas Kellen's been farming his support item this entire time.
Yeah.
And we'll just have more gold. We'll have his spike when he gets his first item, of course, and...
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ghostblade is actually just the best item on Lucian.
I don't know if that's true, but in this case, I feel like it's better than other cases we've seen it. Let's just say that.
I think that's a better way to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't quite understand it, nor do I really would I like to buy it myself. But, you know, movement speed's a great stat, guys.
It's the off-brand Gale Force, you know? That's what it feels like to me. I can't Gale Force for the execute and get that additional damage, but I can run at them real fast.
There you go. Run away really fast.
Run away really fast, too. Yep.
Anyway, aiming, going to be able to clear out this ward. And D+ making things as dark as possible here towards the bottom side of the map. Keeping our eye on where Lucid is. I believe going to be spotted on this control ward. They do have, so DRX definitely going to be very happy about that extra vision that they have collected for themselves. And in fact, it's not even going to be cleared, as he does decide to take down the Raptors first.
Oh boy.
A bit of damage. Evan Flo doing a bunch of work there as well as Kellen. If you had hit that bubble, could have been a big problem, but he does walk into a trap, and so aiming does have to blow the cleanse, and the heal had come out already just for that tempo play.
Lucid has level 6.
He's spotted on another ward, though, so maybe it's not the dive opportunity, because, of course, Sponge in the area.
Now, this is really... I don't think Satab should commit Weaver's Wall to try to make a topside play. He's going to lose a lot of plates, and it's pretty telegraphed. There's a ward there as well for King and he had committed to that, that would have been disastrous. He is not going to try to cross-map this. And in fact, it's just going to be Showmaker continuing to push these waves in. Looked like the observers were also thinking he was going to make that play, make that call. 2 great control wards on the top side for D+ mean that, I mean, obviously Showmaker would suss out that he's missing right away, but there's just no way for him to do anything there.
All right, Lucid and Sponge going to spot each other. Sponge moving down towards the bottom lane, though, as Lucid just stays on this Drake. See who's going to be able to lock it down, as that is a great ulti from Pleta, able to avoid the bubble as well. Tidal Wave has to be invested. And Sponge says, well, I just wandered down here. Now I'm going to get control of the Drake, and we'll see whether Showmaker can be enough to make sure that they still stand a chance in this fight.
Weaver's Wall.
Yeah, that's going to spell the end of it. And now even the Keeper's Verdict is going to come down just to say, nope.
And this
Not having a shot.
This is kind of what I was talking about with Weaver's Wall and the Taliyah in this composition where, okay, Lucian's a little bit strong right now, don't want to deal with that, don't have a lot of control around this objective. Okay, just cut them off. And it was a great ult from Pleta there to actually set it all up to get the damage down so that they could actually then force their way in and then make that Weaver's Wall play. Because Setab, he's still like, okay, well, now I'm going back under turret, and Showmaker is 20 CS on me. But his ultimate alone guarantees DRX get that first Drake. Now, if the bottom lane went a lot better, they wouldn't have necessarily needed to all go like this. If Setab hadn't gotten first blood, it wouldn't necessarily had to be played like that. But that is what the Weaver's Wall can do for you. And I think that if DRX were in a better position in this game, it could have even been maybe they used the Weaver's Wall to secure a kill and grab the objective.
Yeah.
Or just guarantee D+ can't even contest, but still works out in the end.
To be perfectly honest, the fact that they even managed to get the Drake at all is absolutely fantastic if DRX, because they're playing the game of hold on for as long as possible, right? For when, you know, they will have this Poppy able to influence the game a lot. Of course, you know, the Varus doesn't feel as good moving into the late game, but you are going to be able to outrange. And Setab, down to 100 health here as Showmaker keeps throwing Q buttons at him.
Lucid's going to grab the rest of these bubs as well because he's Rel and that's what she does. So that's going to feel nice for pushing power here.
Yeah, and it's the Hexa bub as well.
We'll get him to do it again.
Yeah, there we go. Nailing it. And that is 6. So they're going to have all of that added prowess in a side lane. And there's not a whole lot that can actually stop them from continuing to push in the mid stages of this game, right? Their 2-item, even 1-item spikes are really, really powerful. Teddy, of course, wants to get to 3 before he's going to be a real force. And we know that teams have really been able to take advantage of the mid-game of Taliyah's as well that haven't quite got enough to influence if they're not in these amazing team fights where the seismic shoves are perfect and they're skirmishing around the map and stuff like that. There has been sort of gaps, so it's going to be sort of dire straits here for DRX, I think, as we move towards the mid-game to see whether they can actually stop all of their stuff from breaking.
Yeah, and I think, you know, once Pleta actually starts to get some of that gold from a support item and can build, you know, potentially like an Umbral Glaive and start clearing vision, he's going to be able to make this vision game a little bit more interesting. Like, he can be quite oppressive if he interacts with Kellen while they're clearing a ward, for example. Showmaker finally getting hit by one of those. Yeah, not going to care about it, but he's like, I win this trade anyways. Once he becomes relevant to control some of that vision, like, there is an angle here for DRX. A lot of the gold lead for D+, outside of those 2 kills, is actually just on the fact that Kellen had a support item first. So keep that in mind when we look at some of these numbers that were shown earlier in terms of the support gold advantage. Doesn't feel great for Pleta, but he will eventually generate that. Like, it is capped, so he will eventually catch up to all of that gold that he is behind.
And thankfully, we're safe, so we don't even need to worry about it. It was the Cyclo Sword all along. And I don't even think Ghostblade even, it definitely doesn't have a Brutalizer, so I don't know what
he just went, he went for the Temple Dirk into Cyclo Sword instead
of... And that's great. I'm into it. I mean, I think we've gotten used to Stormrazor being the build, but Cyclo Sword was fun for a little while.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that item. It was really a week 1 kind of experiment. And then people stopped building.
There was a time where Brutalizer did build into Ghostblade. It was just like 8 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Sometimes my brain forgets.
Slay alert.
Oh dear.
That's not Ox's favorite item, but it is going to be completed here early. You can see how quickly Kellen was able to put that together, 13 minutes. So that's the first step.
Wow. Karma really... Did she need the buff?
I don't think so.
It's really kind of like ridiculous the amount of damage that you do. And you're able to take down all of the melees with one of the Qs.
And then another Q to get the ones that didn't kill on the first one.
The crazy thing is, it's like he hasn't even hit Malignance yet, and that's when it gets even worse.
Yeah, it's going to be... tough. Now, also Mandate was completed on this back here for Kellen, so he has his support item done. He has Mandate now. And the Dragon is spawning in 40 seconds. I do not think a Weaver's Wall this time will be alone enough to secure the objective. I think DRX are going to either have to give this one away or maybe try to force for a pick somewhere else. Maybe either try to cross map or, well, running away.
That's a decent way to do it.
That's probably not going to get you anything, but hey, Herald is up.
Gets you out alive, and that is certainly a good thing. When we do have 17 seconds on the Mountain Drake, and Aiming will be able to transition from this outer turret in bottom lane into taking that one. But Rift Herald is gathered here by DRX.
Yeah,
see whether they can actually push down this mid-outer turret, or at least put enough pressure to deny the Drake, as, my god, he does have it now. So that's the kind of pain and horror that you do have to confront when the Malignance is completed. There it is once again.
The suffering.
Yes.
That Seitab will continue to feel. In this case, Teddy is feeling. So they're just going to push down these turrets. Like, oh, you got Rift Herald. I don't care. I'll just take turrets the old-fashioned way with Bubs. And that's what we want to do. Sponge is trying to ult. Oh, God.
Oh, God, he might just straight up die. Aiming is ganking them from behind the turret. And there are Bubs here. Remember, this is 6 Bubs strong. So this outer turret is not long for the world. And my goodness, what an incredible play from D+. This game looked like it wasn't quite there yet. But now it looks completely doomed.
No, it is completely doomed, yeah. 2 turrets down, so Aiming has 2 kills now. His second kill he picks up there. He got the whole turret bottom side. Now they got mid turret. Where can you Herald here now as Sponge? You don't really have great opportunities. He missed his ultimate, unfortunately, tried to use to defend the turret, and then ends up losing out with the flanking Lucian to blow him up. And now D+ grabbed the dragon here. It's Chemtech Soul, so whatever. I don't know if we're going to get the Soul in this one, but...
Hey, but it is like the Aatrox Chemtech Soul, so that feels a little better.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. As this just misses, and then Lucid flash ults, and Aiming just kills them. He only gets one of the kills, but, you know, he already got a turret. He'll take a second kill and an additional turret in mid. He's big. Teddy's all right.
Yeah, now we're going to bring up the 0-5 Karma stats. I do feel a little bit like this is somewhat of an anomaly.
Yeah, I don't know. Just doing DRX a little dirty on this one.
Can we have like a little center that pops up as like, this was against a center composition, this was against a center composition, over and over again, because that might be somewhat relevant.
Hey, the Cassante win rate might also go down. I should put that one up as well.
Ooh. There are always silver linings.
That was production's way of also doing this one is doomed.
But maybe it's also time to celebrate the Karma finally winning a game.
Yeah.
We got
first Garen, now we got first Karma win.
Oh, it's beautiful. What a time to be alive. Don't remind me of the Garen incident.
It didn't win, but it was the first Garen.
And they didn't lose the series, so there you go.
Yeah.
And it was Lucian Melio's fault. It wasn't Garen's fault.
True.
And the build could have been a little bit better. I could make excuses for days, all right?
But yeah, Lucian's win rate this week also about to go up a lot as well, Atlas.
Oh, that's true. That's a bit of a... I don't know whether we want to be encouraging more Lucian. But the way that D+ are playing this composition is pretty quintessential for a winning Lucian mindset, right? It's fast and loose, especially around this time. 15 to 25 minutes is where you want to get most of your winning done. And this is a lot of winning that they've already put on the table.
Yeah, that play in mid we like to call it a Lucid and Lucian.
Like it.
Yeah.
That's not a Lucian moment, that's a Winshin moment?
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? All right, Seitab going to get flashed on here. As the tidal wave comes in, the explosion is enough. Cool guys do not look at them though, and Showmaker is absolutely a cool guy. And now Lucid making his way, and he's just going to Magnet Storm on the spot, being a brick wall, but Rascal's going to go all out. And Lucid does have to use that crash down to try and escape Kingin. Kind of a monster in this fight, but there's a Cassante, and he's still a problem. Kingin somehow survives. Is this Worlds 2022? Is he back? As now Showmaker comes around from the side, but Sponge able to walk it off as the Poppy, and Seitab, the only one to fall down.
We call Lucid and Lucian. It was Lucid went in, and Kingin went in, and then there was a re-engage, and Rascal got a knock-up, and then everybody left, but then Lucid, he pressed his ult, and afterwards, eventually, Aiming on Lucian went in. That's what Lucid and Lucian.
It was another Lucid and Lucian.
You just gotta wait. You just gotta wait for it, because it starts off a little bit disjointed here as The Lucian is not yet really in position to do it as aiming is coming over. And Malignance kills the Talia, and then they're like, all right, well, we have Magnet Storm. We can actually make this play happen, right? The Magnet Storm isn't great. Sponge is able to avoid that and then get in here and pop an ultimate, which does push a lot of utility away from this, and then Kingen gets a little Cassanta'd. And then he actually somehow survives as no one's able to hit him with anything. And then there's the Lucian. Like I said, Lucid and Lucian.
Yeah, and it just pushes them away. And they do manage to survive. I may have got a little bit overexcited, but like seeing Kingen go that deep and then not dying, like, we got to give it to him.
Yeah.
It's been a really rough.
Okay, this is what I wanted to see. I was about to say, Showmaker's damage this game is going to be off the charts.
And it already is.
And he is now almost double the damage of the next highest, which is Kingen. He might triple Aiming's damage, which is hilarious because he's a 2-0 and 2 Lucian who got 2 turrets. That's just the power of karma. We should probably still pick this one.
Shelly is going to be used as an escape tool here by Satap. He's going to crash her into the wall over here.
It's his second escape this time. Last time he used the Weaver's Wall. This time he's using the Rift Herald. He's an escape artist, this guy.
I like it. It's like you fool me once, shame on me, but you're never fooling me again. But please don't kill my Nexus, I think is kind of the thing. As, oh my goodness, okay. This is what happens when the Lucian gets accelerated, and this one definitely is. Rapid fire cannon now completed as well, and we've got fights all over the place. Aiming just frontlining here, and Satap once again in trouble. Will get knocked up, pulled back, and Kingen just gonna cut him down where he stands.
Yeah, no Herald or...
Again, by the way, whose skin is that on that Aatrox? I keep forgetting.
I think it's the DRX top laner from 2022.
Oh, cool. Anyway, Rascal is going to take a bit of damage here from Showmaker. And man, this DRX composition just doing what it says on the tin. And it's working out beautifully. Now taking down an inner turret here as we crest the 20-minute mark.
And, I mean, Aiming... He is very big. He just ulted a Poppy, but he's got to compete with Showmaker's damage numbers in this game, right? Because he's like, man, I might actually be out of playing Marksman. I might have to play Karma 80 carry from now on if this is how it's going to go. Because, that Showmaker damage is real. And if Showmaker goes Leandri's third, which he won't, but if he did, that would be really the only way his damage numbers could continue to ramp up. But, I mean, he bought a needlessly large rod. It's ramping. As, Satap, unfortunately, he wanted to get that last minion. It will be his undoing, as he is just...
And I kind of caster cursed him as well, because I said that he was going to keep making escapes, and he didn't escape. Not from that one. By the way, do you think if Aiming was forced to play Karma, that Kellen would play Nico? Because I really want a Karma Chameleon lane.
I would be down for it. Just for the comedic effect.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
All right, let's see if Showmaker can be killed when he doesn't have Flash. Not yet. Oh, how much does he want that ward? He wants it a lot.
But how much do DRX think that they will not die if they try to engage on him? And the answer is, we probably will, I guess. Especially without Cassante, who's the only one that can really take a cure to.
Bloodsong?
Even then, I don't know.
Bloodsong on Pleta means that the fact that he's holding no items will still allow him to do some amount of damage. But he's just going to leave, actually.
And Teddy's going to try to leave as Showmaker using the Inspire Shield, and there's the crash down. My god, the damage. Magnet Storm is going to pull Teddy back, and it'll take a bit of damage there, and an extra smite that the Caitlyn will fall. And 7-0, guys. It's feeling somewhat one-sided.
I just don't know if Karma's viable. It couldn't kill him without Smite. Now Lucid doesn't have Smite for Baron.
That was your takeaway from this moment.
He doesn't have Smite for Baron. And now they're going to contest with a teleport here. This could be problematic. Look, Lucid, no Smite.
He is only 4 times his opposition's damage. I think that could be higher as well. As Pleta taking so much damage here. There's the flash forward, the Shattering Strike as Sponge wanting to be a bit of a frontline. They are actually winning out in the 3v3. The 2v2, though, you don't want to look at if you're a DRX fan, as Rascal is unfortunately going to fall down.
Successful Baron delay.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, actually, as Showmaker has decided that perhaps if we kill everyone, we won't need to take the Baron, and that might actually be true. Satap rotating over. Is this turret actual safety, though, is the question, as Ace in the Hole comes through, but that is a very tanky Rel, and Lucid will be A-OK. Showmaker still lurking on the sidelines of the fight. I have a feeling it might be over for now, as Sponge is dead. That should mean Baron.
Should definitely, but doesn't necessarily need to be is the question. Like you were already kind of implying earlier. Satap is dead.
Oh, yeah, there's the bubble. And there goes the Talia.
10 stacks of Dark Seal as well now on this Karma, as I think Showmaker is appealing to his teammates to not end the game so that he can continue to play defend Karma. We did, you know, we always are scared. We're not sure what it means. You mentioned earlier when you see the Showmaker giggle before the game starts.
I mean, we used to know exactly what it meant, Wolf. You know, we used to. You were sitting there beside me when you'd see that grin on his face, and then we'd be leaving LOL Park at like 7:30, and that should never happen.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't really have sub 20-minute games anymore with this meta, but it's about as close as it's going to get. I mean, the game certainly did end, you know, pre-15 minutes, but
it was decided.
Yeah, it was decided. But Showmaker's out 3,500 gold ahead. He has a death cap, so I'm really just looking forward to myself as a connoisseur of Karma priority.
Connoisseur, if you will.
Yeah, connoisseur of how much his next Mantra Q is going to do. I want to see, even on a Cassante.
Oh, God.
I want to see it. It doesn't matter who he hits. If he hits Teddy, that's at least half his health bar. Like,
at least, yeah.
And that's like without the burn on the ground. Oh, come on, Showmaker, press it, press it, press it.
Yeah, let's see what happens. As they are going to push in Lucid. Does a bit of damage there to Rascal, but the Magnus Storm onto 4. The bubble comes in as well, and they're being culled. Absolutely decimated. We had our eyes on the Karma, but it was everybody else that was tearing them to shreds. And Showmaker will finally take down Sponge. Rascal is defecting. He's running to the other side of the rift because he knows this game is done. D+ will break open the base here at 25 minutes and maybe just look for a purple buff to wear as they kill the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, there was a dragon taken by Weaver's Wall. There was a Herald that was used as an escape, but otherwise we are looking at perfect game territory here for D+, as Lucid and Showmaker just closing the gap, and you yoinked back.
Yeah.
Engage! You pulled back the Rel!
I mean, I'd want to congratulate Lucid for this play, but it was mainly DRX players that put him in the position that he was.
He was like, I'm trying to get in there and press R, and they were like, we can help you with that. We're ready to move on to game 2.
Yeah.
And I think we all are. 6-0-6 on the Karma.
We need that Magi's. He's just gone back to base.
Yeah,
is it Magi's or has he built a Blighted Jewel? Or both?
I think it's got to be Magi's, right?
It's got to be. It's got to be the Showmaker feeling himself.
Thanks, Red Bull, but we got to, you know.
Yeah, and we appreciate the power play here.
We do. But
he's only sitting at like 700 right now, but he doesn't. It was just a book. It was a book, so it's the right direction, right? But it's not quite the right book.
Yeah, it just didn't quite.
May have just not.
Some of his kills were taken away in that last fight, so.
And he was fresh off a reset.
Yeah.
Well. So 6-0-6 though, still an absolutely phenomenal performance here by Showmaker.
Satab looking to take that turret away topside.
Hey, there we go.
That's bounty gold.
It is. Does have teleport, so he can be here for the eventual defense that'll need to occur. And he does take that bounty gold like you were talking about. This Drake basically forgotten at this point in time. D+ have better things on their mind, as it turns out.
TP, oh man, that damage is real. Pleta is going to have to heal.
Yeah. And Amy is just going to dash up and try to destroy Teddy. The culling is going to be blocked, though, by Rascal quite nicely. He's still Cassante after all. Seismic shove onto aiming, but it's just not really doing too much. Kellen tanking the ace in a hole is, oh my goodness, okay. There goes the theoretically tanky Poppy as Teddy's just trying to survive, but he is so far away from his teammates. That's an all-out, and Lucid once again uses it as a taxi, and everyone's just exploding. These Qs from this Karma are nuclear.
Yeah, he is just, he's shooting 2-pointers, not even 3-pointers, man.
Yeah, no, this is ridiculous. Teddy's like, just please end the game. And they are going to acquiesce. There is game 1 victory for D+ Kia. They're going to need another one, but it might be the end of the losing streak.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's a statement win. There were only Ox, and